think that I could not go on, that life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, then there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the Well After Hours. I'm your host, Beverly Allen, and I'm so glad to have you join in with us again another time, another day at the well, because we're going to be talking about the young Christian entrepreneur. And my guest is just so awesome. I've known her for years, literally giving away my age. I've seen her grow up and to turn into this beautiful, she was a beautiful little lady, a little princess, but now she's grown into a full-size queen. And I'm so happy to welcome my dear daughter, Brittany James, my spiritual light daughter, not my real daughter. I wouldn't mind having her as my real daughter, but my daughter, Brittany James. Brittany, welcome to the Well After Hours. I'm so glad you could be here.
Oh, thank you, Evangelist Allen. Thank you for having me. And I'm honored to be on with you with the Well After Hours. It's an honor and a privilege.
Well, as I said, we have been following you and watching you, since college? Well, before I get into everything, let me read your bio so my guests, so the viewers will know who we have here today.
Okay.
Yes, Brittany James, AKA Boss Lady, is an influencer, songwriter, and brand strategist. She is the CEO of Lady CEO Enterprises, which is a multimedia and brand management firm dedicated to managing and producing qualitative content and industry professionals. Ms. James is a graduate of Clark Atlanta University, the class of 2013. She obtained her BA in music, that portion of voice performance and commercial composition, and also political science. Amongst her latest projects, Brittany serves as the social media manager, alumni coordinator, and project manager of the 105 Voices of History for the National HBCU Concert Choir and Orchestra. Ms. James's talents in music have brought her to major world stages, including the Carnegie Hall in New York City, and in recent years at the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., and stages in Medellin, Colombia. Wow. She holds professional membership in the Tri-M Music Honor Society, the Grammy Recording Academy, Atlanta chapter, the National Coalition of Black Women, Decatur chapter, and Sigma Alpha Iota International Music Fraternity, Incorporated. And currently, Ms. James is pursuing her master's degree in music production from Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. Wow. I tell you, that is just so wonderful. I'm so proud of you. And
Thank you.
Ongoing, you're doing so much. And I see follow you on Facebook and all that you're doing. You tell us, here it is. You are out of college now about what, 7 years?
Yes, 7 years.
7 years, right? Wow.
Yes.
It's like just yesterday. Wow, we were going to conferences and you were young and singing and worshiping and doing all those things. But anyway, you were 7 years out of college. When did you start this company, or when did you get the inspiration to start your business?
Oh, wow. So it all started after graduation from Clark Atlanta. That same week, I was offered an interview to interview for the position as resident director for a company called American Campus Communities, and they are a student housing firm that holds two main residence housings on the campus of Clark Atlanta University. So we house majority of the students for CAU, Heritage Commons and CAU Suites. And this was the first year that they were merging to have one resident director for both facilities. So that's over 2,300 students. That's a staff of 45 plus. So student staff and regular staff members. And I got the job that week, and working with that company and working with Clark Atlanta University, or working for Clark Atlanta University, it actually birthed out Lady CEO Enterprises. We had something there called BOSS, which was our acronym for Basic Operations, Standards, and Systems. And one day because I did the brand strategy for the housing properties. So I was always coming up with a lot of different things, for slogans for the t-shirts and all that type of stuff. And I came up with Boss Life and so many different things in the way I was maneuvering. And of course, I was doing things off campus with getting clients that wanted help in branding, whether it was their styling or whether it was their overall look for website, social media management. And that's where Lady CEO Enterprises was birthed out of that. That's where that term boss life, boss lady came from. And actually going back to high school, I was the CEO of the vocal department for Charter Tech High School my senior year back in 2008. And they coined me with the term Lady CEO. So a good friend of mine said, hey, and I was like, yo, I'm doing this whole branding thing. I gotta turn it in and make it into an actual viable LLC, because I'm getting the amount of clients that I'm getting in. It's overload to where I'm working with the Kennedy Center, sitting in meetings, brand strategizing with them for the Kennedy Center honors. I'm getting politicians out of DC. I'm talking about congressmen, comptrollers for Baltimore, all that type of stuff. And so I'm like, I got to turn this around quick. And my friend said, hey, what about Lady CEO? And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, well, let's try it. Let's see how it works. So Lady CEO came out of that, but that root work started while I was working at Clark Atlanta University.
Wow, that is awesome. I mean, your reputation was preceding you. I mean, when you start talking about sitting in the room with the people that you're dealing with, right, that requires some, some real know-how. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can get in the door, but they're not going to keep you in the meeting if you don't know what you're doing. So
exactly.
So that is awesome.
Thank you.
So had that always been your kind of goal, like going through college, like this is what you wanted to do? Did you want to go into business for yourself and become entrepreneur, or?
Not really. And I honor those who are, because I still don't really consider myself an entrepreneur. I don't know. It's crazy because I just like, oh, okay, I have Lady CEO Enterprises, but that's it. So when people often ask for entrepreneurs and different things like that, I normally step back because I know I'm still learning a lot and still producing a lot with Lady CEO. But that wasn't my ultimate goal. And I'm still working in my field of music. I'm not doing it full time as I want to, but hopefully that time will come where I'll be full time. But with that, I've always wanted to be in the music entertainment industry. So, and I didn't necessarily want to be in the forefront singing or any of that, but definitely behind the scenes. So, and that's really, that's how I came up with my brand strategy or my business plan, because it was geared towards helping people in the industry. So what I'm doing now was kind of what I wanted to do inside the industry, pretty much being a manager, a talent manager, a scout manager, and then eventually working with a recording company, something of, or a performing rights organization, something of that sort. So that entrepreneur thing, I've always shied back away from it. And it just so happened that all that I'm doing, because I'm taking contracts from different, because I'm not at a company that's doing this, I'm like, okay, I have to start my own, at least until I get into somewhere. And even then, Lady CEO by that time will far, like you said, will far precede me. So I don't know what I'm gonna do when I actually do get into my foot in the door fully in the music industry. It's in there, but to where I'm fully known and where I'm working, moving, and shaking. Who knows where Lady CEO Enterprises will end up at that time.
And that is so true, because it sounds like you're on the road, on the train that's not going to stop.
Right, it's
Keep
not.
going. And they say when you do what you love, you never work again. Maybe that's one of those things with you, that you could envision it as as a business or a company because you like doing it. But when
Right.
you can get paid for doing it, it becomes a
Right.
business. This is not a hobby that you have.
Exactly.
It's now a business.
Exactly. And every job that I won't even say job, because I've been blessed out of college to go into some major career positions. And so every career that I've been in, from working at a university, working in student housing, to now working for a major designer retail company, it pretty much it shaped what I do. And every time I go somewhere, I get coworkers, and I have at least 1 or 2 coworkers from each position that I was in that were friends. We still keep in touch, and they say, "Britt, you're wasting your time here. You got to do this. You got to do that." And I'm like, "Okay, I hear y'all. I hear y'all." And every time they see me, I'm like on the phone. I do stuff for work because I am a full-time entrepreneur, but I also work full-time. So I work. I'm not going to say I'm 9 to 5 because my hours are crazy. Sometimes I work from 6 to 3. I know I'll be working from home in the next couple of weeks, so 2 to 10 will be my schedule. So my schedule is kind of all over the place, but I still work full time and am a full-time entrepreneur. And they tell me, my friends tell me all the time, "You don't need to be here. Why are you here? Like, why are you here? You're wasting your time on this." And I'm like, "But I like what I do." They're like what you do, but put that energy into your own stuff. And that's the thing when I'm brand strategizing, when I'm putting brand packages together for people, I'm working on people's social media content or just whatever. I'm always working behind the scenes for somebody else. And I've never done it for myself. And so I've had to have my friends really have had to push me. My inner circle have had to push me to say, "You need to be doing this. Stop doing it for all these companies. That's fine. Get your money. Keep your 9 to 5, your standard 9 to 5, but still go on the outside and work for yourself."
Start your
And
own, yes.
and I enjoy it. I love it. I definitely enjoy it.
That is awesome. That takes multitasking to a whole nother level.
It does. It does.
Full-time entrepreneur and full-time working. I don't know how you do it.
I will be at work typing and be like, "Hold on, I gotta take this other call." And then so it's a lot. There'll be times I'm at church and because at the church I attend, a lot of us are working full-time jobs and entrepreneurs. So we'll be sitting sometimes. My pastor told me about right before the quarantine, he was like, "You gotta bring your laptop and sit in the back of the church," because we're multitasking a lot. And so a lot of times you'll see us working on stuff I won't do it during first service, but second service or Bible study, I'm still working, maneuvering, because that's
What you have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the demand that I'm in right now. Currently I'm in.
And trying to get a business full running off the ground, you can't let go of one thing until
Right.
this thing gets up to speed. And that's just how it is. But that's why I applaud you for how you're handling all this,
Right.
doing that. And has going through the pandemic affected you at all?
No, and it's crazy. I was talking to my best friend. We talk every other day, and she was telling me, we were comparing our stories about the pandemic. And one of the things I was telling her, it's sad, or the way that the world, the state that it's in, because not only we're dealing with the coronavirus, now we're dealing with our Black men dying. So it's like we're in 2 pandemics in one. But through all of that, I've been able to flourish and make more money now in a pandemic than I have beforehand. And that's the story and the testimonies that I'm hearing from a lot of different people, like being set up in this kind of push people forward. And I can honestly say God has blessed me throughout this time. He's kept me covered because I was having to go to work in the beginning. of all of this. And even right when they stopped and I didn't have to go in, I was blessed to have Lady CEO Enterprises still make money. I was blessed to have, of course, I have several other business ventures that I have. Those were coming in and making money. And I would wake up and be like, what, the alerts on my phone, like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, okay, God, thank you. I'm thankful. And one of the things I've learned over the years and growing up is thank you makes room for more. And so every time I thank God, it's like the more blessings. I make sure whatever I get, I'm constantly turning it around and I'm giving it back out, and he gives it back to me 100-fold. And I'm like, I can't complain in this season. It's definitely, the pandemic has really, it's forced me to put all my energy and time into my business. And of course, with my business, it's turning around and putting energy and time into other people. But it's forced me to have to sit down and hone in on my rates, on my time, the value of my company. I've really had to sit down and hone in some things and really pretty much had to perfect it within a 30-day turnaround to make sure it's viable and it can keep going even after the pandemic.
Wow. So many people, when I hear them say, oh, I want to go into business for myself, but, it's always like a but right now, I don't have the funds, I don't have the connections or whatever. I just don't have, it's always like a but you seem to have gotten all those little buts, if you will, kind of like out of the way. Maybe you could encourage another young, because you had faith, I understand, but faith,
Right.
as James said, without works is dead.
It's
It's going nowhere.
Right.
You got to
Right.
work your faith.
Exactly.
How can you encourage some other young believers in the faith as to trying to move forward with their dream or goal?
Right, definitely. One of the things I'll say is don't quit your day job. Now, again, as a full-time entrepreneur, I love to work in an office setting, or I love to go out and work outside of having my own. I do know some people want to go into full-time entrepreneurship outside of, they want to break away from having the stereotypical 9 to 5, and that's fine, but you can't jump into that right away. And I don't think anybody can, even somebody with $1 million, because it takes time, it takes resources, it does take a lot of money, and a lot of time you're investing money into your company before you even start seeing a profit come back on it. So stay with your job. Don't quit your day job or your night job. Stay with it.
And you literally mean that. That's not a saying. Don't quit your day job. You mean
don't do it. Stay with your job, and then from there, save up. I tell people the money that we would spend on going out to eat, and I love all of that. I love Starbucks. That's one of my advices. Going to work every morning outside of our fast day is going to Starbucks. But I've made sure that, hey, when there's times that I need to crack down and save, because I need to take that money and put it, saving it towards my business, I will do that. So cut back. I've heard people say, oh, I can't. I had a potential client. She was like, I got to get my hair and nails done. Learn how to do your hair. Learn how to do your nails. And I've always had clean cut nails anyway.
That always works. That's right.
It works for me.
Yes.
I don't do the makeup, so that's money I'm not spending anyway. I do go to a salon, but that's the most money I'll put in. But when I know I can't get there, I tell my stylist, hey, Brittany, I'll see you when I see you. I gotta do I gotta cut back.
Did you do your hair? Let me just ask you, you did that yourself?
Yes.
Oh, it looks beautiful. I can't believe it. It looks like you went, people don't realize how much care and time it takes to get, the curls just like that. Oh my God.
Right. I've mastered this. Look over, I've been natural since the last perm I had was in 2011. And so since then, about 2013, I learned how to do the twist and all that, and it was okay. It wasn't much, but I look at my hair curation over the years, and it's been an evolution, really, of my hair.
Wow.
So I do my own hair, but take take that money and that you would use on something, whether it be clothes, jewelry, or whatever, take that money and set it aside. I say at least about $100 to $150 to start your business, because you need your LLC.
Mhm.
Learn how to write a business plan. Some people, you can find information for that stuff online. But if you're one of those people that say, I need somebody to guide me, save up the money for a consultation.
Mhm.
Again, that might be another added another $150. But save that money so you can get work with somebody that does brand or that does putting together a business plan,
Yes.
so you can get all your ducks in a row. Get your LLC. For me, I wanted to make sure I had my stuff trademarked, so Lady CEO trademark. I have a few other things that are in the works to get trademarked. So save up your money so you can at least get the foundations of your business plan, your LLC. Invest in a good phone that can take pictures. So you can do your own pictures. Invest in a good ring light. I have a small ring light. Side note, I'm putting in a plug. I'm also an influencer. So if you need codes on getting some of like these lights and stuff, let me know. I will be glad to assist anybody.
Oh,
But
listen up, viewers. She's offering this now. Don't blow this.
right, there's certain opportunities that you can get. Look for influencers online like myself that we work with companies that give us discount codes, because in turn you can use my discount code and get stuff like a ring light and take your own pictures. Go get your own pictures taken. Now, for me, all of my pictures have been professionally taken.
I was
And
just getting ready to ask you that, because they didn't
all
look
of,
like self pictures. They
no,
look like their own professional pictures.
all my pictures are professional, and that's just because I've always, from a little girl, like my grandmother and my mother always made sure I had professional photos,
Yes.
even as a young girl. So I just like that. But if you're one of those people that, hey, if you can afford $100 to $150, maybe $200 for a photo shoot, and get you 2 good outfits or 1 good outfit, and get enough photos so you can have them in your rotation, do that. If not, again, get a selfie, a ring light, get a good camera phone, get a nice backdrop, and be able to take some of your pictures yourself. I know some of my influencer pictures aren't always professional, like my outside ones. Some of them I have my phone, and my friend or whoever will take the pictures, and we do it that way. So that will save you some money. But definitely don't think you can go into starting your business and be like, because I've heard people say, oh, I need a lot of money. No, just for the simple stuff, you really don't. If you have a good $250 to start with, that will get you started. Now, of course, to get some of the further things, I was a lot further along in terms of, again, I wanted professional photos. I have somebody that's professionally working on my website. So things like that. I have a plug of graphic designers, and again, as a brand strategist, because I work with all these people, photographers and graphic designers for other businesses, I have them at my reach to where I can say, okay, hey, I need this done, and then of course I paid them. But again, I saved up the money for it. So if you want to dive deep, by all means, I'm not going to stop you, but make sure you save that money. You don't have to spend all of your money on a whole lot of things that aren't necessary
Right now,
so
yeah. You take your
not right now anyway. And it is going to take some investing on the entrepreneur's part. Yes, you can start your business with as little as $200. That's fine. I know LLCs, depending by state, I know here in the state of Georgia, it costs $25. So you can have as little as $25 to $250 to get your business off the ground. But make sure, if you want to dive in deep, that you do the investment, and you invest, because you're going to have to put money in order to get something out of it. So it's not going to be easy. Don't think it's going to be overnight. My successes have not been overnight. I actually did put a while back on Facebook. It was actually on all of my social medias. I was one of the businesses that I do have. Somebody told me, you're crazy for starting this business in a pandemic. And I had to first tell them, one, this wasn't started in the pandemic. This was started way before.
Mm-hmm.
I said, two, I'm at the place now. And it felt wrong for me to try to capitalize on what's going on now. But I'm like, people aren't going to the stores. They're not really shopping. Some of these stores closed down their distribution centers. This is your time. I'm sitting on inventory.
Exactly.
Britt, this is your time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person came in and DM'd me, inboxed me, and told me I was crazy. But right after they said that, it was like, shoo, I took off. Like, I doubled in my earnings in one of my businesses, like overnight. And it's still like that. So I've always tuned out people that have had negative things to say. And people are going to tell beginning entrepreneurs, you can't do this. You can do anything you set your mind to do, as long as it's reasonable. I always say, make sure it's reasonable, think logically about it, get some sound advice and counsel. I'm big on mentorship. I have mentors in various areas of my life. And so get a business mentor that can mentor you and kind of steer you in the way of what you need to do with your business, and invest in taking some courses. It's just like going back to school, but do it so that way you can build yourself up and also learn your market. That's the next thing I can tell entrepreneurs. Learn your market. Learn what you're in, the industry that you're working in. Learn what other people are charging. Find out what other people are charging. Find out what they're doing, because again, this is your competition. You have to see what you offer that's unique to your customer. Find your target audience. Find your voice. And that's really what will help the starting entrepreneur, to help get them off the ground running. But if you have a dream, if you have a skill, I tell people, take that skill and capitalize off of it. And again, don't always capitalize. You can't capitalize off of every single skill, but something that that's going to be very lucrative and that you enjoy doing. Because it's one thing to be an entrepreneur to make money, but if you're just doing it to make money and you're not enjoying what you're doing, there's no point in doing it. Because it's going to come out in your service. Your customers are going to see that they're not going to want to patronize with you again. So you just have to make sure everything that you're doing, it lines up, and you line up your business plan, and you set your mind to your goals and stick to it. So that's the advice I can give to entrepreneurs.
Well, that's excellent, because you hear people say what they can't do when they haven't even tried or researched or found out. Right. And there's no problem. Maybe you can't, but if you can allow that vision that's in you to pull out, that's why I said, write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
Write it down, put it down, search it out, and see where it follows, because all the time it isn't as difficult. Like you said, a startup money is small, and you take small steps at a time, but at least you're not wasting time.
Exactly.
Starting it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And once you get started, God starts opening doors. That's why you really have to have faith and communication with the Lord, so that you can hear the voice of the Holy Spirit directing you, and you did, and he'll tell you. And that's the thing, like, he'll tell you strategies, what to do.
Yes.
And
yes.
And you're doing that, and encouraging other potential entrepreneurs to do the same. Stop saying I can't before you even tried.
Exactly, because you're putting your mouth, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And if you're saying verbally, or even if you're thinking it, I can't do this, or I won't do this, it won't prosper, it won't work, you're already stopping.
Killing it, yes.
You're stopping it where what should be growing. You're stopping it before it can even be planted. So you have to speak positive, think positive. It's not always up. It's just not always happy days being an entrepreneur. Sometimes I do struggle with a client battle. A lot of times I do struggle sometimes with it looks like I'm easy to maintain and balance, but it is a struggle sometimes to maintain work-life balance. But I don't give up, because one thing I know, this is something I love to do. And if this is my end goal of what I'm trying to do in the music industry, well, I definitely can't stop here. I have to keep going. But, you know, speak those positive things. And I always say prayer is a part of my business strategy. I don't do anything without talking to God and praying about it first. I don't take every client. And that's another thing. Sometimes it's hard to say, well, it's the business, it's the money. All good opportunities isn't God opportunities.
There you go.
I've said this from the start of my business, back in 2016, when I started taking on some big clients. And I said, all good opportunities aren't God opportunities. There are opportunities that will come that look good, but did it really come from God? Are they giving you headaches? Are they stressing you out? One of my business mentors, she was telling me about a situation with a client she was dealing with, and the money was great, but it wasn't worth her sanity. It wasn't worth her integrity as a business owner. And so she had to let that go. And as soon as she let it go, God opened up major doors and opportunities for her to get back what she had said no to. So sometimes you have to learn and decipher. That's why I'm stay constantly in prayer, you know, ask God to give you wisdom, to give you discernment, and what opportunities to walk into in terms of your business, because one wrong move could set you back, way back. We don't know how far back, but it can set you back some ways to where it may be hard to recover, and you do recover, but it will take you a while to get back up and running. So just stay prayerful, and stay mindful and be watchful in terms of how you maneuver and operate your business, because it is very important.
Wow. You know, as the scripture says, faith cometh by hearing, so does fear.
Yes.
Fear can come by hearing too, because you know you keep hearing yourself, and if there's other people who are negative or they're fearful, they're now imputing their fears onto you, and so you have your voice, the enemy's voice, other people's voice, and the Holy Spirit's voice, and you've got to discern
exactly
which voice to listen to. And as you said, that comes through prayer. You know, and the struggle is okay. The struggle is what strengthens you. You know, it really is the struggle that strengthens you and teaches you and shapes you. As I'm sure you could probably attest to that too.
Trust me, I've had struggle days. And I'm also careful, and that's another thing I'll tell entrepreneurs: be careful of who has your ear and who you're listening to. Because you can tell the wrong thing to the wrong person, and that will cause the fear to come in. So everybody doesn't want to see you succeed. I love everybody that is in my life, but I'm very keen on having an inner circle, and a lot of times for me, I don't know, I guess because a lot of people gravitate towards me. A lot of people want to be in the know of what I'm doing. And, you know, I'll get people say, well, you didn't tell me this, or why didn't you tell me? I can't tell everything to everybody at that moment, because it's not for everybody. There are times that, I'll be honest, when it comes to my business, about 98.7% of the time I don't tell, even my friends in my inner circle. And it's not that they don't understand or they don't know, or they're not operating or doing anything, because I have friends that are working in some major industries and doing some awesome things, but I don't want the fear to creep in. I don't want maybe you should do it this way, and that's not where God has shown me, because sometimes God will give you something and tell you, I want you to do it this way. And somebody may not understand why he wants you to do it that way, or why you're doing it that way. And then you get so caught up in saying, well, I don't want to do it this way. Maybe my friend's right. Maybe I should do it this way, and then do it the other way. And that's not the plan that God had for intended for it to be. So even just with close friendships or just associates, be careful who you tell your business to. And that's just a life principle in general.
That's true.
Just be careful of who you're talking to, who has your ear, who you're in communication with, because that can ultimately sabotage and destroy what God is trying to do within your business.
That is so true. And I guess that's like the scripture says, sometimes don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
You know, and people sometimes get offended, but they shouldn't, because, you know, it's better to keep it, like I said, to yourself, because a lot of times some people who want to offer advice haven't even been there, aren't even doing
Right.
get to, but they think they're just putting their perspective or their spin on something that they really don't understand.
Right.
And when you get the green light from the Holy Spirit, from the Lord, you know every step, he'll give you enough light to take one step at a time. You don't have to see a panoramic view.
Exactly.
Just step out on faith, you know, a step, and then the water's crossed. Like when the children of Israel were crossing the river, they had the Ark of the Covenant. The water didn't open up till they put their foot in it. You know, you got to step your, you know, purpose and that destiny. Then things begin to open up, you know.
Yes. And I also say, and this is big for those that are on social media, especially for my generation. We're big on social media. We like to post everything. And again, I'm an influencer, so I'm always doing things on social media. But I always say, and I started saying this back in 2016, right when I left working at Clark Atlanta. And it's a simple term, but it makes a lot of sense. And it's I don't always, and I can't think of the exact phrase of how I say it, but make sure you don't prematurely put your business out on social media.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make sure that whatever you're doing, that's what it is. Hustle in silence. Hustle in silence.
There you go.
Work in silence. Because you prematurely put it out there, so people are expecting it. People may be saying, "Well, put this out there, and what is it?
I thought you was gonna,
when you gonna do it?" And then you set yourself up for a whole can of worms. So work in silence, hustle in silence, whatever you're doing, it doesn't always have to be blasted on social media. People have been asking me for years, "You got Lady CEO Enterprises, what is it?" I said, come ask me about it. And I will tell you, I'll show you. I have valuable clients that I've been working with for years that I don't always have to put it on social media who I'm working with. I work with some pretty big people, and I've been blessed to do that. But you don't always have to put it out there what you're doing. Now, of course, once I get my website up and everything like that, then you can come to my website and see it. If you follow me on Instagram, if people follow me on Instagram, they'll be able to go click the link in my bio. I have a mini website set up through my Instagram bio. And so you get a glimpse of what I do in terms of influencing, songwriting, and a brand strategist. And then you'll see what the entire thing is. But do not always put your stuff out there. It covers yourself. It covers your business. Don't let people always know what you're working on. Don't. It's best to work in silence. Hustle in silence.
There you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty critical too, because then people put you on a time frame, and then if you that she ain't doing nothing, you know,
right.
It's just better to do it, and then when it's done and you have it all lined up, you don't have to worry about any kind of those little bumps, those big bumps. You may have some small ones, but at least you have it set up to start rolling.
Right.
And we deal with things as we roll with it, you know. But
right.
Have it set up. You're operating in it, and that's it. And you know, people, I didn't know. Wow. Well, that's a big surprise. I was keeping it, you know, under wraps until it was all done, you know.
Yes. And I'm big on that. That's part of what I do as a brand strategist. I say, okay, let's come up with ways how you're going to launch your business. Let's come up with ways how we're going to launch your social media or your content. Let's come up with that way. And it keeps the suspense going. Like people ask me all the time, what are you working on? I can't tell you that. That's a, I can't tell you that. When I come out with something, I'll come out with it. You just never know. Just be prepared that you'll never know what you're going to get. You never know what I'm going to do. Never. And I love it. I love it.
I do too.
I keep people on their toes.
Plan. That's all my game plan,
Yep.
Only you can count on 4 fingers who I tell anything that I'm doing. Because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And I have no pressures to face or anything, the time limits to try to compete, no rush.
Right.
And who really want to help and see you succeed.
Exactly.
People are well-meaning, but they just can't always, be what you would like them to be. So you find out who the few are.
Right.
And go with that. And then, you bless everybody else. And then when it comes out, it'll be a blessing. And you'll see who really was in your,
yes.
You'll find out.
I've learned that. And I've always been, critical of who's been around me, who's been in my circle, whether it be in my inner circle or just associates. But there were people who I thought that were at least maybe not in the inner circle, but they were on that second realm of, we were still really good friends. And then, I'm like, minor stuff happened. I'm like, oh, wow. I see the true colors come out. And I'm like, oh, okay, bye. No love lost. You were in my life for a reason, for a purpose. But I know that with my business and just with my life and where God has taken me, everybody, and my grandmother made sure to instill this in me. Everybody can't go where you're going. They can't. And people would love to. And I know people now that would love to stay by me every step of the way. But I just know I can't take everybody.
And for what purpose, though? I mean, sometimes it's like, for what purpose,
Right. Sometimes it's an extra. It's like you're carrying that. Going on an airplane. That's the best example I can use. You're traveling. You get to the gate or ticket agent, and you're putting up your bag for it to get weighed, and you have all of you're overweight. And now you have to take stuff out, or you're forced to pay a fee for all of this stuff. It's better just to unpack all that stuff, get rid of the unnecessary
things. That's right. There you go.
So that way you're not carrying it with you to your next destination. For everything, there's a time, a season, and a place. And for every season, you can't have everything with you. You can't take everything in your carry-on. That was one of the messages I preached. Oh, wow. It's been some years ago, but I did a sermonette on it. And every thing that you're carrying on in your carry-on bag cannot come with you. You have to decide, what am I going to take? Some places you travel to require different types of clothing. So if I'm going to Hawaii, why am I taking a coat that I would bring to New York City? That it's not going to work. So you have to unload that baggage just in your life for spiritual reasons or just for your business. Unload all that stuff and really think and sit in terms of, think about what is necessary for me to take on this journey. Think about what people, and it's rough to think about that, but it's like, hey, really sit down and think, can I carry all these people with me? And is it worth me carrying all these people with me? And that will trust me, it will benefit your business a lot when you really sit down and think about that.
And your peace of mind, your emotional well-being.
Yes.
Because the enemy uses all kinds of tools to keep you distracted and keep you bogged down. The battle is always in your mind, before it starts working in your body. So those are great lessons that you've learned at a young age as you move forward. And the earlier we learn them, the better it is,
Yes, it will save you a lot of time and heartache.
Yes. So. Well, that is so awesome. I tell you, I'm sure that, and I've seen online, everybody is offering oh, I know how to do this, and come with me. I have a master class, and I'm like, there's so much out there. It's like, how do you know, who to even pick to
Right.
use something? I know that everything is results oriented, and some people should have some real
Right.
results to show. But I mean, it's like there's a million people out there saying they're like Tony Robbins. They can do this for you, or I have
Exactly.
this strategy. I will show you how, to market.
Yes.
And you got to put out the money before you've even.
Before you even get anything.
So how do you know what you're getting?
Research. Do your research. Ask around. Find some people to see if they've used a certain program, if they used a certain consultation. Find out. Of course, those things like that they offer. They have people that do reviews for them. But really do your research. And I say go with somebody that, I don't want to say always go with somebody because sometimes some people may not bring out the best results for you because they know you. But just do your research, and before you spend and before you invest that money into a program for a course or whatever, really look and see, how can this benefit me? Because it's almost like you're choosing a mentor. I hate to say you're paying for a mentor, but yeah, it's like you're choosing
in that field, whatever field it is. Somebody's gone that way before you, who knows the road. Yes.
So you definitely have to, look and see, who is this going to be the best for me? I know in my case, God has just had some awesome people that I've been able to cross paths with over these last few years, that I've been able to, of course, glean from, get mentorship from, and then I, in turn, will pay for a course that they're doing for other people, because I want to, of course, invest back into them, but I want to gain that same knowledge. I've heard somebody say this, that if you're paying for more, what you pay for, you value more than what you don't pay for something. And so you will value it more. So find somebody, that mentor, that coach, that teacher that can, benefit and show you and pretty much teach you. And pretty much it's like a vetting process. Do what you need to do. Ask questions. It's okay to be concerned and ask those questions, because you want to make sure you're investing your time, your money, and your energy into the right place and the right space for you to get back what you need in terms for your business. So it's a lot of different things out there. Just do your research and vet all those people before you really put your money into it. And if you're seeking out somebody that's seeking out like a mentorship, ask God to pray, and ask God to pretty much align you with who you need to be connected with. Don't just go with the first person that comes up, because that person may not be the person that's supposed to mentor you on that journey, whether it be entrepreneurship or just different areas of your life. Just in general, just make sure that you're prayerful about that, and don't just go with the first person. Be spirit of discernment and prayerful in that matter. But yeah, there's tons of stuff out there. Just vet them out before you.
And be discerning that even if you have selected someone and you find out later it's not a good fit, don't hesitate. To disconnect. Because that could be a long journey. And, and there's no harm in that, because, sometimes it just doesn't, work. So.
Right. Feel free to terminate in the relationship. I've had to terminate. There were some people that were working with me, or that I was helping with their business, and I'm like, I have to end this. I was in a mentorship capacity, and that was my first time offering a mentorship capacity in terms of entrepreneurship, and I was like, I can't do this. You don't listen. This is not good. So no, I cannot.
And then if they fail or don't do something, then people are like, well, who was your mentor? And they weren't even doing what you said do. So
you will not be able to blame me.
I know that's right.
Will not be put on that. So no. So yeah, feel free to terminate and end what you need to end, even if it is prematurely, because you don't even want to waste all of that additional money spending into that one mentor or resource that doesn't bring back any fruit
Benefits,
from
no
it.
benefits
Right.
at all. Tangible benefits, yeah.
Exactly.
So, well, that is so awesome. I tell you, you've given out a lot of wisdom for such a young woman. And, and through your experience, sharing your experiential, knowledge and being actually a brand strategist and doing all those things. It's great to hear that coming from you and giving direction and guidance. And I'm just so happy for you and wish you all of God's speed and all of the Lord's blessings to continue. You sound like you're really on a good road, and we're going to continue to hold you up in prayer, my dear.
Thank you.
So
Thank
that,
you.
You always have your ear to the your mouth of God, and I'm sure He won't lead you wrong. I know He won't lead you.
All right.
He's been doing a good job so far.
Yes. So thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
And so I'll have to keep up with your progress. So as you go on, as the kids say, you about to blow up. But as you blow up, don't forget. don't forget us. I'll be knocking on your door again. Like, come on, it's time for another interview. We got to do an update.
Right. Well,
Go ahead.
I appreciate it. Again, thank you for having me. Like, this has been fun, and it's been an honor. And I've admired you from a little girl. So this is, I love this. I love it.
This has been a pleasure for me, a real pleasure and a joy. And I'm so glad that you were able to afford us the time to be here. So I thank you, and I thank the viewers of the Well After Hours. Don't forget, every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., Facebook page Beverly D. Allen, YouTube channel Beverly D. Allen Ministries, LLC, 7:30 every Thursday. And so we invite you to be around the well. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can put a little heart up there if you like, and we would love it. So anyway, just continue with us, and we thank you for being here. And we'll look for you next week around the well. And again, Brittany, thank you so much. God bless you. God bless the viewers.
Bye.
I used to think that I could not go on, that life was not